Is it? I think it's when people coming on and off and getting rid of them. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It is your boy, Coach D Brown, former big leaguer, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals. And man, we are joined today, man. We going big time junior college today, man. I done tracked my man down, man. Busy guy, just got the new gig over there at Gordon State. I had to bring him on because I kept hearing so much about the school. Me being in the Georgia market and living in Atlanta and going back and forth, I felt like it was only right that I seek out some of these Georgia schools besides the big D1 schools. But I wanted to bring my man on. I heard a lot about Gordon State, and I come to find out it's big time JC. All right. And I was like, well, listen, let me go find out the coach. Come to find out my man just got the gig over there looking like he still belongs on the field, all right, himself. And but we're joined today by Gordon State College, big time junior college here in the Georgia area, Atlanta, close to Atlanta, right? Market. And so Coach Kent Rollins joins us today. What's going on, Kent? Hold up, Coach. How you doing, man?
And I'm hanging in there. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate you having me on.
No doubt about it, man. I'm super excited to hear about the school, man. And I know it's a storied history and behind it, man. And what I love to do, man, like always, I love to kind of get the background on the guys, man. Like where you from originally. I did a little bit of research on it, more than I usually do, but I like to kind of get, where you from, playing career to where you are now, man. Head coach at Gordon State.
I'm from right outside of Atlanta in the suburbs, Gwinnett County. Went to South Gwinnett High School.
Okay.
Graduated in 2011, and then from there went to Auburn University and was redshirted. After that first year, I was an Auburn fan. It was a dream to go there, and when they offered, it was but enjoyed the year there. Decided it'd be better to move back home, better for the pocket, because out of state was kind of way too high over there at Auburn. I transferred back to a junior college in Georgia, middle Georgia, which is now an NAIA, and played 2 years there for Coach Craig Young and Paul Knight, who's still down there right now. And from there, transferred over to Georgia Southern and finished up. I graduated in 2016. I played for a bunch of head coaches, a bunch of assistant coaches, and I only think that assisted me in building the coach that I wanted to be. Once I was done seeing from, so many different backgrounds, as well as I do in baseball, there's so many ways to do one thing, and there's no right way or wrong way per se. It's a production thing. However you get that done kind of deal. So it was good to learn from a bunch of great baseball minds, see how they go about their daily business, their system, the ins and outs of it. And then, as soon as I got done playing, I knew coaching was the route for me. So I called the guy that I used to work for, Jason Eller. He was at Augusta University at the time. I asked if he would need a GA or something. I want to get my foot in the door.
That's right.
And he said, hang tight. He was in actually a process of transitioning to another job in the same conference, but called me, asked if I wanted to, if I still wanted to do this, if I was sure. And I said, absolutely. I jumped on it down at Georgia College and State University in Milledgeville. That's a school in the Peach Belt. We did some really good things. We won 3 championships, 2 in 1 year.
Nice.
Was just the regular season and the conference championship.
Okay.
Set a bunch of records, led the country in some offensive categories. We did a lot of good things. That's not from my knowledge, but I was a part of it. So
That's right.
it was pretty cool.
Gaining that knowledge.
Right. That's right. Learning from the right people. And spent 2 years there. Got my master's degree during that time in kinesiology from Georgia Southern, and then finished for the past 2 years, I was up at Murray State University in Kentucky, in the Ohio Valley Conference. I was a recruiting coordinator assistant up there. I coached the catchers.
Nice.
And then now I'm down here as a chance to come back home. You said it in your opening. Gordon is a special place. It's a big time junior college. It's always been that way. So I come in wanting to build something, but it's already built. So it's just making sure that I'm continuing the excellence, the tradition that's been put in, in years prior. So.
Yeah, man. I had to, shout out to everybody that's kind of joining in, and what you don't know, Coach, man, I've done over 100 of these, man, and I told you some of the few guests I've had on recently, but when I say 100, just strictly college coaches and not talking about any other guests, and started about 2 years ago. But what I've learned from starting, at 2 years ago, bringing on all you guys, coaches wise, college wise, man, I've grown in like a real strong love for JUCOs, and more so than, because I was a guy that didn't go to college. I went, got drafted, and I was a football guy at high school. So, I was the full ride guy for football. But so I didn't really think of JUCOs, but I would tinker with it here and there. But I was like everybody else, like, oh, JUCO grades wise, or if you're not good enough to go to, I was one of those guys until I started kind of coming on and bringing on, honestly, like my ex-teammates, friends of mine who I played with in the pro game, and they all started at JUCOs. I was like, what is going on with this? And then I just started doing more research, and scouts would tell me how much they love JUCOs and getting drafted right away. And that's, back in my day, it was the draft and follow. That's what the JUCO was really, known for then. Guys that didn't like what they got money-wise, and they would do the draft and follow. So anyway, my point is I've become a real big fan of JUCOs. And so it's always good. I didn't have LSU Unice. I've had Monroe College just came on last week, and I've had Central Arizona. So I try to get some really good high level Jackson State and community in Tennessee. So I've had some big time programs on there. So I've been looking forward, because I kept hearing about, man, Gordon is pretty good. Gordon is pretty good here. So talk a little bit about the facilities. Talk about how many kids, go to the school there, and kind of a recruiting base. Atlanta's a rich, Georgia in general is a big, rich, talent base, but kind of, go through those steps if you could.
Absolutely. No, and it's funny with you not necessarily being an outsider, but not having playing JUCO, talk about it, man. It's a brotherhood type thing. It's something special. You're in this small town where, you came in, you're either, underdeveloped, undersized, under recruited. You're just in a big fish in a big pond and just got missed. So it's a lot of chips on the shoulder. And being in small towns, there's nothing to do but baseball. You make any fun, it's genuine, So, but the school, Gordon, we're located in Barnesville, Georgia. It's about an hour south of Atlanta, if that, and maybe 30 minutes from McDonough. 3,500 kids go to school here. I want to say 2,000 of those are on campus. Maybe I don't know the numbers. I'm still pretty fresh here. But no, it's we've got 51 guys on our roster, from stretching as far as Virginia and as south as down to Jacksonville. They were recruited coming in. These coaches have done a great job of getting good players in. And I inherited a really, really good team. I was pretty fortunate with that. It's just, here's the keys to the Cadillac. Don't wreck it, keep it on the road. But I mean, like you said, Georgia's rich in talent. There's no real reason to go outside of the state. When I was in Kentucky, actually, we tried to get down into Georgia, but pulling some of those kids north, the distance from home, there's things you struggle with, and then you've got budget wise money for both sides that it didn't work out. So that was a big reason for me to get home, was just get back into these resources, which is I've networked with the guys I played against in high school that are still coaching, because I'm pretty fresh in this. So calling to those, or talking to those guys, getting recruits, getting players, it's a lot easier when you know the guy you're talking to, and him saying, hey, I've got a guy for you that can play, rather than a guy you just struck up a relationship with, and he's saying, hey, I got to do, because everybody's got to do, coach.
Exactly.
So, exactly. Being back in the state and using those coaches that I know and have a relationship with has been great.
So, man, 51 kids, man. We got a couple of questions that's coming in. All right, you can answer this one. All right. Hi, Coach D. What's the difference between JUCO and FBS school?
Yeah. Where to start with that one? FBS and JUCO. FBS, you've got guys that are walking into locker rooms. First of all, we don't have a locker room. We're working on that. My dad's on the call right now, and he's got the measurements. We're about to put hand to wood and strike up a locker room for the boys.
Oh wow, okay.
But that's one of the first things is facilities. Is gear. It's I don't know, the sexiness of college baseball is gone in JUCO baseball. Urban. You're fighting for what you're getting. You understand that coming in. You understand that it's self-motivation. It's staying extra. It's once you leave the park from what I've got these guys doing, I expect them to either go into the weight room, go get some food, or come back and strike up the lights, hit on the field, take some extra ground balls because it's developed. I mean, that's you got passed on for a reason in a sense for most of these guys in junior college, right? And like you were talking about it was the same thing with me. I didn't think about junior college coming out of high school, but it turned out to be the best 2 years of my life. You weren't handed anything; you had to work for it, and it made I felt like it had me better prepared to go to that 4 year than I was when I was 18 coming out of high school. And that's what I'm trying to do. But the difference between junior college and FBS is it's a grinder. It's not you don't have everything given to you kind of deal. Budgets are different. Everything coaches. I'm the only coach on our staff right now. I've got a pitching coach that's commuting from Birmingham when he can. He just fresh out, played for me up at Murray. Wants to get into college baseball, giving him a chance, but we just got to find him a job over here to get stay here. I don't want him starving.
Okay.
There's a bunch of differences outside of the game of baseball with junior college and FBS. Within it, it's pretty much the same. The game's fast. You've got with these with the top tier junior colleges, Wabash, Walter State, us. You're getting guys that are bouncing back from these FBS schools for whatever reason. They didn't like it. They didn't play. They want to go somewhere else. They want to go closer to home, whatever it is. They're transfer eligible right away. And then you see those guys littered everywhere throughout the junior college. So there's talent everywhere. And especially with COVID going on, with people getting eligibility, people not playing last year, there's a logjam in college baseball. And I'm excited to see where the level's at this year.
Yeah, I mean, just from the conversations I've been having with you guys, D1 down, I mean, it seems like college baseball as a whole, the talent level is going to go, especially with the rounds being shortened and for the future now, it went from 5, it's going to go up to 20, but it's like still going to be a lot of talented kids that's not going to get the chance to go pro now. That just means deeper talent pool in the college ranks. And so, yeah, and definitely I already felt like JUCO was already, schools like yours is definitely super talented. But now it's going to be like, mini minor league over there, man, So it's definitely.
The transfer portal, I don't have access to it, but all NCAA schools do. I've got some buddies, college coaches, and they're like, "Man, did you see that guy in the portal?" I'm like, "No, I'm not at your level anymore. I don't have access to it." Like,
well, can you explain that? So let me ask you this. So that's news to me. So JUCOs are not part of the portal?
Not supposed to. Just because those guys are transferring to you, that
right.
is more for D1s to D2s kind of deal. And there's so many rulings that are going on.
So you can't actively reach out to that D1 guy that's in the portal. Can you do that or no?
I could reach out, but because you can't. I can't tell, or I can't say, "Hey, I saw you in the portal," kind of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I was asking. I hear about the portal, but I thought all colleges have access to the portals. No.
NCAA sanctioned schools, yes, sir. It's supposed to be for those guys.
Okay, cool. So I didn't know that, man. All right. Learned something every day. That's when you said that. It was like, oh, I'm like, I didn't think it was nothing,
Like a little transfer wire. And they're transferring to us anyways. But for the most part, you know, with what we do, we're calling schools if we need somebody at the break going, hey, who you cutting? You know, hey, who you letting go?
Okay. Oh, that's how that goes. Okay. Okay. So just like they're calling you about, hey, who do you got? You may be like, who you getting rid of type of thing, huh?
Sure. In those conversations, that's how it goes. You know, hey,
Okay.
this is for you. What, you know, kind of scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of deal,
Yeah,
coach.
yeah. Okay, cool. All right, learn something every day. Cool.
Man.
All right. Don says JUCO roster, 51 kids. How many kids really get the exposure?
30, I would say. And that's, I would love to have, I'm used to a travel roster or just a max roster of 35. You know, when I came in here, I inherited 51 and there 51 really good ball players. I don't know how I had individual meetings with them going, hey, you want to switch sides because I got some tough decisions to make. But that's why we do it, you know, and hopefully we're better. We make the right ones. Guys get hurt all the time. You try to eliminate it as much as you can, obviously. But things are going to happen. You hate to say it, guys aren't going to make grades, so they're not going to be eligible. You know, the number kind of whittles itself down. But I mean, it's the same thing. We're using every arm we need. You know, if somebody's not getting it done with 51 guys, there's probably somebody in there that can.
Right.
So
Let me ask you this. So when you say kind of dwindling it down on a normal year, I know a lot of things has changed because of COVID, but do you consider this 51 a normal year? Or okay.
I don't know, sir. But again, it's year one for me. Now, when I was playing junior college, we had maybe 35 guys.
Okay.
And you talk about exposure there. You got ones and twos. That's, you know, and almost everybody's playing. Everybody's getting exposed. But for here, you know, you're trying to get these guys moved on as best as you can,
Right.
but trying to win ball games. You know,
Right.
and it's ultimately up to them, especially with 51. Separate yourself. You know, figure out what can you do differently to catch my eye, because it's just me. You know, and there was a bunch of times this fall where I just sat back and said, hey, here's the baseballs. Y'all are split up into teams. Let's go. You know, and we're out there for 3-4 hours, but it's game like exposure, you know, and who can take that spot each day. It's a lot of confidence. It was fun. It was fun. You saw in the Fall World Series this past fall that when they were able to draft their own teams, I let them do that. I picked 2 captains, let them draft their own teams and get after it. And it was ultimate competitive. I'll say that.
Some guys are literally, I mean, I don't want to go to the extreme because you can always transfer all of that, but I'm sure that there's going to be some guys that you're going to tell right before the roster, you know, before rosters are set in the spring, you're going to be telling some guys that this may be the end of the line, you know, baseball wise. Does that sound about right?
Unfortunately, and not so much end of the line, but end of the line at Gordon.
Right.
I would honestly be doing them a disservice. I mean, especially if they didn't do anything wrong. If they just ability, they weren't able to win a spot, right? And they're 3-4 deep on a 51-man roster. Say, hey, let's look elsewhere where we can get you reps, right? Let's find a place to where you can get time on the field, which is what you want to do, and go from there. You know, I would never just wash my hands of a kid as long as he's never done bad, right? I mean, as long as he's done the right things, he's been on time. You know, that skill level's not there yet, and if he wants to go and play, that option's there. I'm there to help you. If you want to stick around and you want to grow and develop, and let's see what happens, by all means, man, stay here. You know, it's not a revolving door, but ultimately the name of the game is playing baseball. And if you're 4 deep, let's find a spot.
Good deal, man. Oof. Yeah. Good competition, man. It's like the pros out here, man. All right.
Which and ultimately that reminded me. I mean, we've got a year now where the NJCAA already ruled on it that this year doesn't count towards eligibility. Right.
Talk about that. Yes.
So it kind of opened it up for me. In a sense, it's good and bad. But I like to harp on the positive side more so than the negative side. Positive side, you saw what the big leagues did in this past year with like a, travel roster or big league club team, and then you've got your alternate training site.
Right.
Well, with me now, it's okay. I've got 51 guys. Got a, let's say, 27-man travel roster. Those guys don't get it done. There's somebody back in the ranks that has thrown to live hitters. Hitters facing live arms. They're sitting on their thumbs. It's next man up kind of deal, right? And we're manipulating chess pieces, different things like that. Guys go down. We've got arms that have been throwing that can come in and hopefully do the job right away. And they don't usually lose a year of eligibility. Normally, come in and throw a pitch, it's done.
That's how it goes, huh?
But that's how it goes. But now it gives that opportunity for them to play with a free year. Which gives me a chance to manipulate it a little bit.
That's what I was saying. I know I had a D1 coach on there that told me that he said because of the, so if the guys were there already, in 2020 spring, they were granted another year, and then now the NJC, whatever, the New Junior College Conference Association, whatever, gave them another year. So essentially, they could play 3 years at JUCO, right, and then still be eligible for, I think he said 4 years, right?
4 years. I got a kid that graduate with a 4-year degree from a 2-year school.
Wow.
It's a time, Coach. It's crazy. Things I never thought would happen. I mean, it's I've got a freshman that will be a freshman next year in his 3rd year of school. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
All right. So TC says, how many JUCO kids can get scholarships?
Whoever wants one, whoever earns one. I mean, it's coaches are constantly coming in looking for junior college guys for right now needs. And that's 4-year schools that I'm talking about. I apologize. 4-year, like you talked about, they want junior college guys because there's something different about them. I'll tell a story. We had a guy that couldn't make his start. It was a Sunday guy, couldn't make his start. Freshman, really good for us. Didn't pan out. This was when I was at a 4-year. Sorry, freshman couldn't make the start. He said, my shoulder's a little sore. I don't want to throw today. So we spot started a lefty that was a junior college guy. And now, Coach, we're in May, so it's dog days.
Right.
He goes in, throws 3 innings, keeps us in the ball game. Just unbelievable job. He comes off the mound once we pull him. The freshman asks him, say, "Hey, how you feel?" He goes, "Well, I'm hurting." And he goes, well, "You're hurting? Why'd you throw?" He goes, "We're all hurting. We got it. We throw. The season doesn't stop, and that shows you. It kind of shows you where some guys, say freshmen just don't know yet, right? They if they think something's hurting, they're more likely to kind of pull back and make sure they're okay, rather than go do this like, screw it. This is my task. I've been through this. Here we go. Here we go. But it's just correlation was there. So to answer your question, I mean, it's guys are coming after junior college players.
So let me ask you this on the flip side, because I'm sure this is why he's asking. How can you get scholarships at JUCOs?
We've got a scholarship budget. Is that kind of that we're going? There's scholarship budgets just like everywhere else. Some might be lighter than others, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've offered guys. I think we have 17 right now that are on money out of the 51. That just kind of goes to show you. Yes, there's scholarships, but how heavy is it? It all depends.
Let me ask you this: so, how much does it cost to say as a kid's pretty good and you like him? You know what I'm saying? And you say, all right, come on and play. How much does it cost to go to Golden State? Is there a difference between in-state and out-of-state? And what are those numbers?
Ooh, man, this is going to look bad. I know the in-state. I don't.
Okay, well, give me the in-state then.
Hadn't recruited out-of-state yet.
Okay.
It's $4,000 a year, just under $4,000 a year for tuition. It's $6,000 a year, just above $6,000 to live here, and then depending on what kind of meal plan you want, you're looking at 11 to 12 grand a year. So that's not, I mean, people outside of sports choose junior college because it's lighter on the pocket and they can knock out their core classes, course curriculum first. You know, so that's a beneficiary, or that's beneficial for junior college players. Now our scholarship, it'd be crazy. If I really want a guy, I'd probably offer him $6,000. You know, and that's just being as open and transparent as I can in the recruiting process. But you see where grades come in now. If I got a guy that's in state and has hope, where tuition is taken, or partial tuition is taken care of, or Zell Miller, where tuition's fully taken care of, now that just stretches further for the player. But it's baseball, where unfortunately we don't give out full rides, you know, and we don't have 55 like some football schools do, you know. But it's just, you complain or do you make it work? You got to shake, coach.
That's right. Yeah, we had the group of dudes with the fine grind. Yeah, okay. Let me get here. Janine says, I am slow. What is FDS?
Was that maybe to the question of FBS schools?
Yeah.
Division I. So FBS, FBS and FCS is football bowl series and football championship series, I believe.
Yeah.
D1,
AA. What FDS? What is she? Did she meant to say FBS? Is that what?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what FDS is either, and I don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was thinking maybe you put me on a game. I was about to say. All right. Javier said lots of D1 transfers. You are correct. Andrea says, if you want to go JUCO route, is the player hindering themselves by registering on the portal?
Not at all. You know, and nowadays, if you're transferring from a school, you have to go into the portal regardless. And that's all through NCAA compliance offices and everything like that.
I heard those numbers are crazy now.
It's something. I mean, I think it's 4 or 5 guys almost every hour. I mean, you're getting down. If we talk about a log jam at JUCO, there's a log jam in NCAA as well. Seniors coming back, and it's like, you know, some can be disgruntled, others just want to play. You know, it's not, they don't hate where they're at. It's just, it's unfortunate that this is what happened, and now they're trying to, you know, make the best out of it and get re-recruited by going to a junior college.
Is it a grading score? Is it like, you know, is it just a name? You know what I'm saying? And position, like
it's a name. It's where they're from, like school-wise. They've got an NCAA ID number that everybody gets when they register through the clearinghouse.
Okay.
And that number's there. You click on their name, a whole profile pops up, and it's got their email address. If they want to be contacted, they can set different things, like they can go into the portal and say they don't want to be contacted because they know they're going the junior college route. Normally, there's already some groundwork that's been done with that player. He you know, he's been recruited by a junior college out of high school. Really like the coach there. Once he already knows he's made contact, knows he wants to go back.
Okay.
You know, different things like that. But I don't think it's hindering at all. There's so many different rules that are changing that, you know, in D1, if you've got if you're on money and you get money taken away, you get a free transfer year. Basically, if you get your scholarship cut, you can transfer wherever you want, same ranks at the D1 level without having to sit out a year. If you're a walk-on and you get cut, same thing. You get a one-time transfer to wherever you want to go at whatever level, and you don't have to sit out a year. So things are changing. But if you go into a portal and that's your scenario, let's say you're leaving Georgia, well, Tennessee, you went 3 for 5 against Tennessee on Saturday, Sunday in their series last year. They kind of liked how you're playing the game. Now they know, and they contact you. I mean, it's all.
Can the player, is that called tampering? Can the player can't be like, you know, coach, man, you know, I'm about to hit this portal. What you got? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it goes on, but is it legal to do that or not?
I'm sure it goes on, but coaches aren't supposed to talk to them until they see their name pop up in the portal. That basically means that they're released from their NLI and are open to whoever wants to talk to them.
All right. Delmar says, what do they do in the summer? Do they send them various summer leagues and camps? What do you do with your players?
All depends on how many innings they've played. For arms, how many innings they pitched. If they're up over 100 innings, we're going to shut them down. We'll see you in the spring, or see you in the fall. I'm sorry. We'll switch it into a strength building phase or whatever it is, long toss. I mean, they're still going to throw, but that max effort competitive throwing, we don't need to if we just threw over 100 innings in a season. And if there are guys that need innings, I'll send them. The Sun Belt League is a great league in the Atlanta area. There's other leagues in Florida that some of my guys are already going to. I can line it up with those coaches, or like these two did. An email popped up on, I needed to sign a document. I didn't know what it was, and then I got a text on my phone saying, "Hey, coach, you might be getting something. It's for summer ball. Take a look at it, sign it, get it back whenever you can." And so they're proactive in that sense. But I would love for them to play, especially if they hadn't gotten reps. The guy third on the depth chart. Let's get you somewhere. Let's get you some innings. Get you some ABs, different things like that. There are different facilities that all they do is run live ABs all summer. And what you're paying the fee to go there and to work out, but you're getting ex minor leaguers, ex major leaguers developing you, working with you. They're getting technology in, the stalkers or the track man. Drive line is huge in some of these facilities, but as long as they're working and they're not just going home, going to the beach and hanging out with, by the pool, I'm pretty much good with whatever works out for them. Some of them need to get internships. Some of them need to get jobs to help back home. Never force anything on anybody, just kind of guide them in the right direction and let them make that decision. But yeah, summer leagues are big for us, especially with guys not getting reps.
Okay. Hi, Lisa Schultz.
Schultz, how are we?
All right. I'm sure that's all right. Family.
Little son, little catcher. He's gonna be a stud.
All right. Pablo says, does college coaches have access to high school stats?
I no, and there's not like we would with other, say, I wanted to check out D Brown from UA. We'll just say Arkansas, from Arkansas. How I can go onto the team website and see your numbers right there. There's really not that much out there for high school guys. Now there are max preps and different things like that, different websites like that, but it's all up to the high school coach to send those numbers in, right? And 9 times out of 10, you click on a high school's link to go to max preps, they don't even have a roster up there. Right. So to get high school stats, it's calling those coaches, calling the head coaches, talking to them, saying, "Hey, who you got? What are the numbers like?" That's our access to high school coaches, or to high school stats. I apologize.
All right. So basically what he's saying is, Pablo, you're going to have to, you travel team coach or come holler at your boy over here or somebody like that to get access to these coaches. All right. Or you're going to have to do it yourself. All right.
So, nothing wrong with taking initiative either.
That's right. Great answer, Coach. Do you find most guys come there with grades being the issue in the first place? Therefore, 51 will be a positive.
I don't know. A lot of guys, it's new for me. So the guys that I'm recruiting right now, I'd say one is kind of that 2.7, 2.8 range GPA. So I haven't seen the grades being the issue. Now there are some guys that were on roster that were struggling a little bit. And it's just their GPA was down, but they got the 2.5 is the transfer GPA required to be eligible into NCAAs. Now that's different schools. It'll change. But 25 is kind of that, or 2.5 is kind of that standard line. No, I haven't seen grades being the issue, to be honest. I'm coming in a unique time where COVID's the issue. It's not being recruited's the issue. Didn't work out at the previous school being the issue. Those are the issues I'm seeing more so than just the grades. So I think that whole stigma that comes with JUCO, being guys just don't have the grades. I think I want to say that's turning. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I haven't seen that stigma here at Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, it's a few guys I give low ACT or SAT scores, but I mean, most of the kids that I deal with and talk to is just opportunity to play, and they start seeing the benefits of a JUCO. You know what I'm saying? That's why they want to go. It's not like no, underlining, like you said, it's playing time, and that's about it. But go ahead, say that again. I'm sorry.
I was just saying having a fall and a spring schedule is big too. I think we could play 15 games in the fall, and then 52 maybe 52 in the spring, something along those lines.
Good deal, man. George out of New Mexico says, do your pitchers hit or play other fielding positions? Do you basically have two-way guys?
I have two-way guys until they prove they can't do it. It's one of those things that they come in as two ways, and either they can't get it done on the mound, and we just eliminate that, or they can't get it done at the plate or in the field. So we're just, hey, you're a pitcher only, or they're good at both, and we keep them rocking and rolling. I got a guy right now that I'm kind of indirectly motivating him, a two-way guy that I call him a PO every day, just to dig, get under that skin, and hopefully make him, work a little bit harder to prove the coach that I can hit, and do it. So yeah, two-way guys are big. You fit basically two dudes into one bus seat, and that frees up some space for roster size, and feed and mouse kind of deal. If a guy can get it done both ways, he's just going to be more attractive in my mind.
All right. Kevin says, is there ever a problem for JUCOs to transfer credits to a four-year school?
They do arise, yes. Now we try to do the best job we can of being proactive, making sure they're not taking, exercise walking, or classes like that, to where they will transfer in. But there are just certain things, certain degrees, certain programs that they just don't accept certain credits. Hadn't come up in an experience with me yet. But on the flip side of it, as a D1 recruiting coordinator, the first thing we're doing is we're getting that transcript and we're taking it to our advising person, whoever it is, going, hey, let's take a look at it. Is he eligible? 2, is can he get in? 3, what are we going to have to do with his major? Can he keep his major that he wants? Does he have to go somewhere else to make his credits work and make him eligible? But yeah, it gets that pops up a good bit.
All right. Are there academic scholarships to offset some costs?
With us, no. There are places around that I'm sure they do have academic scholarships, but with us, outside of the Hope and the Zell Miller that is throughout Georgia, no, there's nothing else for us here at Gordon.
Can you talk a little bit about that, the Hope?
Sure. What I remember, like I said, I've been out of Georgia for a
while. Right. But that works for four-year schools too, though, right?
It does. It for everybody in Georgia. It's right. Different states have their own kind of tuition assistance, but being in baseball, it's huge to get that help, and to get the help, you have the Hope, and it's a 3.0, 3.2. I know when I was in high school, it was a 3.0 and at least. And you had partial Hope, and that took care of some of your tuition, and then you stack some baseball money, athletic scholarship on top of it, and there you go. But no, I mean the Zell I believe is a 4.0 completely, or a 4.0, and that's all tuition, everything's taken care of. And then it's a 4.0 along with a test score requirement, I believe, an ACT, SAT test score requirement. I wasn't that guy, so I didn't. I don't have any personal experience with that one.
Oh, so it is 4.0 and a SAT combined like that. Yeah. Okay.
The Zell, I believe.
Right. All right. Shout out to Mo. All right, Monique. All right.
Hey Mo.
Yeah, she's my hookup to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
You got
you
Adam
said
hitting?
what?
Is Adam hitting with you?
Nah, he need to, but nah, I met on here just following and learn the background of her kid and stuff like that. And that's when I started learning about Gordon State. So I was like, yo, Mo, I was like, yo, there's a new coach over there. I can't find this information. I'm like, yo, hook me up. I gotta get him on the show and stuff like that. So she was my hookup over there.
Awesome. He's fantastic. He was hurt for me this fall and
Right.
kind of acted as my hitting coach. He's a brilliant baseball mind. I love him.
All right. Good deal. What year do JUCOs typically recruit high school players?
I'd say junior year would start for us. Now we'd really get going that senior year, and probably wouldn't offer until that senior year. I know you can't sign until athletes can't sign until their senior year, but I mean it's a class by class basis. You're trying to look at least a year ahead. With my experiences before at Murray, I was looking at 21s, 22s while recruiting 19s. You're just trying to stay ahead of the game. And that's kind of the same thing with junior colleges. It's the same thing everywhere. You really start that junior year, and then if they're not signed, if they're still uncommitted, whatever it is, by their senior year, then hey, here we go. I've watched you for a year. I've seen you play a good bit in the fall ball, the summer ball, whatever it is. And yeah, I'd say junior year gets you on the radar. Sophomore or senior year is probably when it happens.
All right, cool. All right. Eric says, thanks for being a positive outlet of valuable information for us, D. Always appreciate it, Eric. Thanks for coming, showing love over there. Shout out to Eric. He came out to my showcase.
Okay.
Got a young little stud, 14-year-old, play a little bit. And gonna be all right. I'm speaking of showcase. I want to talk to you about that. Camps, anything you got going on. Do you have to take the SAT to get to your school?
For everywhere right now, I believe the SAT, ACT requirements are waived because of COVID and the test's not going on. Normally in a normal year, I want to say yes. But right now, while I'm recruiting guys, I'm looking at GPA and just making sure they can get in because that score is waived. So we're just trying to make sure that GPA is where it needs to be.
So if you got a post-grad kid or like a post-grad kid per se, do you go back to what he's doing now in the post-grad grade wise, or do you go back to his GPA, what he was doing in school?
I believe he'd be a transfer, wouldn't he? I mean, it wouldn't be a freshman kind of deal because he's in that post-grad academy. So it would be like somebody else coming from a D2, D1, and that's what you got now. What's your GPA at now?
Okay.
When a guy transfers back to us, we're not necessarily worried about his high school test scores.
Okay. That was a personal question. All right. How are you recruiting currently with COVID-19?
Taking it slow, not panicking. There's a bunch of good players out there, and I just want to make sure they're well vetted. They're good players. They're going to come in and do the right things. But by no means, I mean, especially with everybody getting the year back and only having 4 guys committed right now to a 4-year school, you're looking at 47 guys that could come back if they wanted to. So I joked around. My parents are on it right now. I said I might have 60, 65 guys on the roster next year if I'm not careful. But we'll stop it way before it gets there. I promise you that. But no, I mean, taking it slow. I've put 2 offers out, got my budget cuts back, and realized that I was over budget, so I had to figure out how to make it work after just 2 offers.
Really?
It's one of those things. We're trying to find and make sure that we really need somebody and they're the right fit for us. Go on. before we move on.
Like everything is a projection thing, right? Because I already know arms you'll take, right? But every other position is just you're projecting, right? I like this kid, but ABC needs to happen for us to really, really consider this kid to come in, right? That's what it sounds like, right?
Amen. Yes, sir. I mean, he's got to play well in his high school season, and we've got to have it. We've got to have that need, first we got to make sure we don't have it on our roster before I go outsource and try to find it somewhere else. I'm always going to take care of these guys first if I can, before finding that new guy to bring in, and going from there.
So like on a and then get another personal being nosy question, right? So on a 35-man roster, baseball, I'm a pro guy, right? We 25-man rosters. Usually you got, 11 to 13 guys are pitchers, and you have the 2 catchers and everything else. For a man of 35 roster, normal year 35 roster,
Sure.
How is it broken down? You know what I'm saying? Like position players to can you go by that? I may take 5 outfielders, 6 infielders, 2 catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you dissect it that way?
I would say the most I'd have at one spot would come from the catcher spot on the field wise. Those guys take a beating. You need guys down there to catch bullpens. I'd say 3 catchers, 3 to 4 being taken. Then obviously you got your starting 9 that are going. I would say after the starting 9, you try to take 1 middle infielder, one corner guy that can do both on the infield. You take 3 outfielders, I'd say 2 outfielders that are defensive replacements, and then you got to factor in the guys that you want to bring off the deck, the next guys that they might not have a position. They might be DH kind of guys, but you need somebody off the bench to come and get a knock late in the game. You factor that in there. So I'd say about 14, 15 of the 35, if we're going to call it that, would be
position
players. Yep. And then you take as many arms as you can, because you never know how it's gonna go.
Yeah, especially them long weekends you guys may have and long weeks, and that's pretty. That's a good way to deal with that with 20 arms per. Is it a weekend schedule like normally? Like, is it Friday?
For us, it's weird. We had, when I was playing in it, we would do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday in a series. It'd be a 4-game series where Tuesday and Thursday would be solo 9s, and then Saturday would be a doubleheader of 2 7s. This year we're kind of starting the conference schedule out, playing everybody once, but in doubleheaders. I think maybe 2 weeks, somewhere a week, 2 weeks, like that, and then jumping into our conference schedule where it's series, like where we're playing on Tuesday and we're playing on Friday or Saturday. And it's kind of different, but it opens it up. If we're playing East Georgia on Tuesday, we're going to play them again on Saturday. Maybe we schedule a game on Thursday against, Oglethorpe's JV team to make sure somebody's getting, ABs, reps, different things like that. Or we schedule it against Chat Valley and go take on, a national, powerhouse that's just as tradition rich as we are.
Right.
Good midweek test. Different things that you can. It opens it up for more games.
Okay.
I wish it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's what I'm used to.
Yeah, that's how I was thinking from like 20 arms Friday. I'm like, shoot, you can really like do some things, So, but can a kid use the whole program for JUCO?
Absolutely. Come in, especially if they're from Georgia, no doubt, need it to. They need it. We need it. It helps everybody. But yeah.
Okay. Coach, how many kids outside of Georgia can you offer scholarships to, i.e. like Mississippi JUCOs can only get 2 or 3 out of state scholarships?
I hadn't heard anything from my AD telling me I couldn't. I had a number. It kind of just seems like it's a wild, wild west. It's free reign, whatever you want. I'm gonna go until he says no, and then we'll fix it from there. But as far as I know, a number of how many guys outside the state, I don't think there is one.
All right. Mo says, I think Hope pays 80% of the tuition cost per credit taken.
Huge.
Yeah, it is.
So important.
Yep.
Get your grades. People listening, get those grades.
Say that. Yeah. Say that again one more time, Coach.
Stay in school. Get your grades. Don't play around with it. It's just as important as the weight room, as the on-field reps. Get your classes in. It's only going to help you and your parents out.
There you go. Okay. What if a student just wanted to take a trade instead of traditional academic classes?
That's an interesting question. Nobody's asked me that.
I
wish I had an answer for you, Delmar. I don't know. I'll wait. I'll wait till that pops up.
So freshman is too young.
Sometimes, but I mean, they come in and they're ready to rock and roll. I mean, we at being a junior college, we got freshmen and sophomores. That's it. And those freshmen gotta grow up quick. They gotta take the reps that they get in the fall, the game like reps where we're playing somebody else, and be able to adapt to it and understand, the college game, because there's a bump in game speed. It's not as significant as it would be going into a Power 5, but it's still different. And some guys get left, some guys stay with it. So there's a definite learning curve that some freshmen go through.
So I'm gonna go on a limb, and I think I know my audience. I think she meant because she's the same one that asked about when do you start recruiting or something like that. So I'm thinking
yes.
So she says this freshman too young.
Those 2025s that are committed, I don't understand. I don't get it. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't get it either, Coach.
Man, a date yet, Coach?
I know.
You want?
Yeah, and you and I both know in 4 or 5 years is a long time to become really good or suck. You know what I'm saying? So listen.
Somebody like baseball at the end of those 4 or 5 years.
You and I both know. We'll see. So that's a whole nother show. I've talked about that so many times, but you and I both know that there's a strong chance that kid may not even be that good. But anyway, does Gordon consider in-state tuition for border states or out of state, for example, kid from Florida or Alabama?
We don't, unfortunately. I want to pull it up right now, actually. What our out-of-state tuition is.
Because I know even in Tennessee, like in the Memphis area, because they're border states over there,
Sure.
They got like a little window mileage thing where,
Oh, when I was at Murray, we had a regional discount, for bordering states like Tennessee.
Right.
Tennessee have 40% off of what of normal out-of-state tuition, and different things like that.
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't have that. Looking here, and here's probably why we stay in state with recruiting. It's 4,000 for out of state. It's 11,000 for $4,000 for in state, 11,000 for out of state. That's
total. What will be the difference between total? Because you said it was like 11, 12 for in-state total, right? In-state,
yep.
For everything. So probably add about another 7,000, 8,000 on top of that for out of state trying to come in.
I'd say so. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's hefty. I know it. I'm not blind to it. That's hefty for a junior college.
All right, there you go, Javier. All right, my boy Jeff says Devin Keene is a monster. Enjoy.
Got to get him healthy. Get that foot right. Get the toe. Little Georgia State transfer, man. I coached him at Team Elites. Big right-handed bat. He's got a chance.
Okay. All right. Russ says, with 50 players, do you have two teams, a freshman and a sophomore team? How can kids get rest with so many players if only one team?
I think that's why you see this eligibility year. That ruling. They understand that the 2020s that graduated last year might be coming into a logjam of 50 guys. And in a regular year, the guys that are in front of them wouldn't be there, and they would have those reps. So we talk about 50 like it's a normal thing. It's not normal. It's the cluster that's been created. Would I love to do a two-team roster? Absolutely. Do I have the manpower for it or the budget for it? I wish I did, because it would honestly make it a whole lot easier having a varsity and a JV and making sure that everybody's getting exposure, everybody's getting a chance. But having that eligibility year or that ruling where it doesn't count, it's almost a year to clear this up, where you and I both know it's going to take longer than a year. But at least it does give guys in front of these high school seniors a chance to be recruited and go without them losing a year of eligibility. You can look at it as a good, look at it as a bad. I see it as you get a year to grow and develop that you didn't think you were going to get. It's that post you're already at the junior college that you're at. You're learning, how to go about the daily life, the class load, the practice load, doing weights, and now ultimately by the time you're ready to get out of there, you're a junior. Numbers wise. Now I will say, and I tell this to the guys that I recruit, the guys that I have on my roster, if you're ready after year one, I'm crazy to hold you back. If you find the right fit and that 4-year thinks you're ready to go, because ultimately my job is to get you better and get you moved on, right? Whether that's year 1, year 2. But it's tough to get these players reps, Russ. I understand that. The NJCAA kind of helped them out with that ruling.
All right. Clay was good. Andrea's on the roll. We got Andrea says she's gonna get her freshman scene. If you held a camp for high school players, how do you stand out as a freshman?
Be better than a senior. If a kid's good, he's good. Whether he's a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, whatever it is.
I love that answer. I love that answer. Yeah.
Be better than a senior.
All right. Don 47 coming back. Do you roll over those scholarships or do you give money to the young freshmen coming in?
It's the same budget. So those scholarships will stick. If there's a guy that wants to leave, if there's a guy that gets picked up late in the summer and money comes available, I would lean more towards rewarding somebody that doesn't have money that's already on roster before going out and finding somebody else, to put money in. And that's just because they've been there. They've done the right things. We just didn't have money available. And that goes back to treating my players the way they need to be treated, the right way, doing right by them. But if I've got money available and I'm recruiting, those freshmen I've got freshmen next year coming in with money. Not many of them, but some of them have some money.
All right. Tiffany says, random question, but is it common for catchers to call the games at college level, or does it really vary by program?
It's not common, but it does vary by program. Now you got a 4-year, 5th-year catcher that knows the game. You would love to go, hey, I trust you. I've watched you do it. Call the game. But for the most part, it's not very common that catchers are calling the game. You got little fans or the SEC even doing the earpiece now, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get that. I mean, what's the why the signs? Why is it going to? What's the difference? Why is it easier to just read out number schemes and then have them look at that? Like what?
Everybody's scared of getting picked up, Coach. Nobody wants to get their sign stolen.
This is crazy to me, man.
Astros.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 'Cause I laugh. I saw the softball players do it first, and then
Hell yeah.
now I'm just like, what are we quarterbacks over here now? Everybody's doing this, and I'm like, it's crazy to me. Anyway,
You do it right, fans, it's impossible to pick them up.
right. All right. Lawrence says no California players on the roster.
Woo! How you gonna know you like it out here?
Mm.
I'm I can't get you out here, and I love some Cali players. They play baseball just as well as we do, but getting you over here and then getting you back. I mean, just the travel. Hadn't had a need to get to Cali. You show me a guy that I need on my roster, I'll be open to Cali players.
All right. Okay. Tiffany says, it's a long one here. Let me read this one here. If a student has dual enrollment credits from high school, is there a max that you want to stay away from that would make junior college not an option? I have a high school sophomore that takes dual enrollment classes. I don't want that to end up being a negative when it comes to college choices.
I don't think so. There's so many different routes you can go. We fortunately we offer I'd say about a dozen 4-year degrees at a junior college, and some junior colleges do have 4-year degrees for whatever reason. But you come in with a dual enrollment, you're already close to graduating, and then you graduate by the end of your freshman year on campus here at Gordon. Now somebody offers you money. That money's going towards paying for your master's. Which ultimately that's just another degree. It's another degree. It's another way to make some money once baseball's over, because it ends. It ends. But no, I don't think there's a number to stop at that would make him not eligible for a junior college.
Mm-hmm. I had a parent that came to my showcase, and he was on that level where he looked to JUCO, and essentially he was a senior though. Her son is a sophomore, but I'm saying he had took so many college courses that this particular JC would be good to transfer over his things, because he would be almost like middle of his sophomore year type, in the JUCO. So they felt like it was a hindrance to go to that particular JUCO, and he was trying to be an engineer or something like that. So I asked around, and they were telling me, I haven't talked to him about this yet neither, but there was like another JUCO up in, I don't want to talk about it, but that kind of catered to his type of major. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, every school is different. So Jeff says, last question, coach, and then I'm gonna add my couple of questions, and then we go from there. Jeff said, ask my man how good Dylan Lydier was as a player and a kid.
Dylan Letelier, man, he was a phenomenal kid. Loved having him around. Loved messing with him. Was a really good player. Had a chance. Had a chance to help us out. It's a case of just not taking advantage of opportunities. And that just happens. That happens. Was it him not being ready? Probably not. It just ball didn't bounce his way. And ultimately it's a production based job, and we've got to get somebody in that gets it done. I nothing but the best for Dylan though, man. It was a pleasure to coach him for a year up there up at Murray.
Okay. And I know that's behind the scenes stuff. I'm lost over there. I know that. Okay, I get it now. So listen, so coach, man, camps.
Yeah.
I know you guys may be having something this winter, summer. What do you got going for camps, man?
This winter we're not. I was trying to get in and just really kind of make sure this rocked and rolled before I moved on. They were here. The guys were here in August. I got hired on in September, so it was about a month and a half of them being locked up in the dorms. So we got here, just open up the gates. Now I plan on having something in the spring. It'll be announced through Twitter, and if anybody wants to write it down or look it up right now and follow us, it's at Gordon State BSB. and that's our Twitter handle. Announcements for camp.
BSB?
Yes, sir. That'll all be through there.
All right. I'm having a showcase coach, and I know you're busy, man. But on a Saturday, man, next month, I know if you guys ain't practicing, whatever, I'm gonna holler at you about some showcases, and I'm also live streaming them too. All right, so
get out and recruit. We can't catch COVID like D1 coaches can.
You said what now?
We can't catch COVID like D1 coaches can. We can get out and recruit. I don't know what it is.
All right, no, that's what I said. I'm gonna holler at you, man. I'll let you know next month when you can, and it'll be in and around Atlanta area. If you can make it out, man, I'll like I said, I'd love to have you, man. So, Coach says, Coach, what is your go-to source for information on a player other than calling a coach, PBR, Perfect Game, 5-2? I would say
PBR and Perfect Game, and that's just to get an idea, a baseline, and then it's calling the coach and seeing if those numbers match up, if that was just a really good day of baseball for him, or if that's who he is. But I'd say those websites are pretty big for us.
Okay. Here we go here. Hello, Coach. Do you feel with the potential of another wavered season due to COVID, a lot of kids might hang up the cleats due to the serious backlogs?
I'm afraid of it. Absolutely. And it's tough. I mean, you're going to see, if that happens, you're going to see a lot of programs fold. You're going to see, a lot of junior college opportunities not there anymore because they just can't survive it the financially. And then that's not even talking about kids hanging up the cleats. It's unfortunate. It really is. And I think that's, I don't want to go in deeper and step on any toes. But if they're not willing to compete, if the backlog happens, and I'd say the easy thing to do is say I'm done, right?
Yeah.
That's the easy thing to do. The hard thing to do is to tighten them up even tighter, lace them up even tighter, and go to work and win a spot.
I think it's too many options. I know there's a backlog. If you quit, that means I me say this the most.
I think we're on the same page, and I was trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, that means that you ain't really serious about it. You and I both coach, just like you said. You started at Auburn, right? That was really good. But then you had to go 2 or 3 different routes to end up with a degree, and also to keep playing ball, right? So it didn't go all well for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody may look at my situations a lot different, but I didn't go to the school. I got a full ride, but Maryland was not my first choice of school. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't where I was like destined to go. My boy, coach had his own, dream school, and he got a chance to go there and saw very quickly, like, situations and stuff didn't work out. He had to go somewhere else. So that was a disappointment, I'm sure, right? In some way. So my point being, I'm sure, my boy Coach Rollins is thinking the same thing. Like, if you feel like walking away because it's not ideal way of whatever, you have post grads, you have other JUCOs. That's what's happening, I believe, because these parents are getting, their mind, and players are getting, so caught up in level and schools and the backlog. And I know money comes into and all that, but there are plenty of options, I believe, you know what I'm saying, out there. Post grads are popping up everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to keep playing, and again, it's not ideal, but it's a way to kind of ride the wave right now. All you need to do right now is just kind of hang in there. You know what I'm saying? Right? Is it sounding about right, Coach? Yeah,
absolutely. It's, it doesn't mean enough for you if you're able to just walk away from it. That's kind of what we were getting at, and that's how I feel.
Well, there you go. So when it comes to kids wanting to send film and videos and stuff, is the best way to the Twitter, the Gordon State BSB Twitter, or is another way to send some film?
And my Twitter, I believe it's at KRoll26. let me look at it. I don't even know it, Coach. I just know I log in on it. But it's hold on. I feel bad. My bad. I'm just wasting time right here.
Good, do you know how many coaches come on here and let me know social media handles? And you know what I'm saying? You ain't
roll 06.
Say one more time.
K_roll 06. Let me see. Can I put it? Oh.
K_roll K6.
K_roll ROLL 0.
Tell me if this is right, Coach. You're broken up a little bit. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So that is his Twitter handle. So if you have any video, if you have you want Coach to kind of, get a look at your son, post away and make sure he's a legit big time program over there doing big time things, man. And okay, so Vincent, I'm gonna get this last question in, and I'm gonna have Coach take us on out with an awesome message, man, and we're gonna go from there. So Vincent says, what do coaches like to see on film? Gameplay, cage work, BP, fungal drills, etc.
I won't talk for coaches. I'll talk for me. I like seeing arms throw against hitters. So if you're a pitcher, I'd like seeing game film. With hitters, I would love to see your swing from the side. And that could be MVP, that could be doing cage work, whatever it is. And then obviously if you're a defender, let's put some moving around. Field and ground balls, whatever it is, fly balls, track and fly balls. Let's put that on there too. Now it's real easy to put together a highlight film, but that's just step one, right? I mean, it's not. I don't know if I will, or I definitely haven't ever offered a kid off film. Big thing for me, it's getting my eyes on, getting on the field, getting to the field, seeing how you interact with your teammates, seeing how you handle failure, see how you talk to your parents. Are you gracious for a drink that they bring to you, or are you pissed off because it's the wrong one, kind of deal. Just let's see who you are. I want to figure that out, because game film, I could sit here right now and put together a minute worth of film that makes me look like a world beater. So, and I was a very player, but that's ultimately what I look for. So, if you're a pitcher, live reps against bats, hitters, video from the side, and then let's see you move around out in the field.
All right. Last question for me. Style of play. Like what's the Coach Rollins type of style of play? Like we know we want to go play Golden State. We need to look out for this.
We're going to play fast. We're going to play fast. We're going to play hard. That's ultimately what it comes down to. We're going to try to out hustle you. It's all an effort thing. Look extra 90, and then and let our ability take over where it may if we're running the ball out of the park. I'm a firm believer in, I want to lead the conference in doubles and slugging. Offensively, on the mound, we're going to come right at you. We're going to attack you with fastballs. We're going to put our best stuff in the zone, and hopefully that day it's better. It's good enough to get outs. We're not going to shy away from contact or anything like that, but we're going to play fast. We're going to enjoy the game. We're going to play it with energy. College baseball is all about energy. It's different. So that's it might be loud. I don't know what it looks like yet. We'll find out in the spring. But we're working on. We spent this whole fall just trying to bring effort and energy to the field.
All right. All right, cool. So, Coach, man, I appreciate you coming on. What we're gonna do, you're gonna take us out with a great message, but let me just say my little exiting pleasantries. Tonight we are day 4 of the 5-day free webinar workshop. All right. Join me at 8 p.m. tonight. I know it's Friday night. All right, but it's COVID time. Where you going? All right. So make sure you join me over there for this free workshop. We are finalizing the dates for these showcases right now. January 23rd is looking good at Montgomery, Alabama. I'm trying to get Coach out there, man, and but he may be with his team, but we're still gonna be live streaming him. So we got right now, hopefully get some out of state, in-state people over there in Montgomery, January 23rd. That's still tentative. We're also working on that January 9th pro scout only showcase here in Atlanta. So we're working on those two showcases next month. So I will be in the contact with promoting that once it kind of gets more finalized. Hoping to have that at least that January 22nd showcase finalized today, but still haven't locked that down. But next week definitely will. All right. And I want everybody to have a great weekend. We should have some great guests coming on next week. We had a great, awesome week, and it started with my Edwin Thompson at Georgetown, and it's ending with my boy over here, Coach Rollins over here with Gordon State, man. So great week filled with some big leaguers, some future big leaguers. Now, Coach, if you could, we'll be back 4 p.m. Eastern. After I said all my stuff, man. So, Coach, it's on you, bro. If you could I always have my guests, all right? Take us out with a great message, man. You know what I'm saying? If you could, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, man. No,
anything, parents, and talking to the parents or kids, or give you best nice little present you just going out.
Guys in the 2021 class that are on watching right now. I know it's tough, and we talk about log jams. We talk about their opportunities being slim, man. If you've got them out there, if you've got money on the table from anybody, that interest is huge. It's tough to get that. Keep going. Don't stop, man. It's just an obstacle that's in your way. It's an obstacle for you to overcome that you're going to grow from. You're going to be better for it. Don't look for the easy way out. Don't look for excuses. Put your head down and grind.
I ain't gotta say no more. All right. He is totally straight up, and he's telling the truth. So be patient and keep your head down and just keep growing, man. I love that message, Coach. Listen, man, been a pleasure, man. Been a pleasure, Coach Rollins, man. I look forward to building a good relationship with you, man, and having you on in the future and meeting you in person. And obviously being young and starting your own program, and you're on your way to great things, man. And like I said, man, the dude still looks like he can go out there and use a catcher. Were you a catcher or
infielder?
Infield. Okay, my bad. All right, look like he can still pick it a little bit over there. He looks every bit of, I don't know, maybe I'm the old guy over here, but he looks like he can still be on that field, running stuff down, man. So, but he's well on his way, man. I heard great things about you, man. And, I know you're going to take this program to the next level, man. And I look forward to helping you and sending you some good players too. And, helping this program out for you, man. All right.
Appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
No doubt, man. No doubt. So parents, 4 p.m. Have a great weekend. Matter of fact, 8 p.m. tonight. All right. For the people listening for that free workshop, day 4 of it. And then I'll see you guys on Monday with this. All right. For the next week. Have a great weekend. For those that will not, for some reason, want to venture out to COVID and not being on tonight, be careful out there in the streets. All right. But I'll see you guys. Peace and love, y'all. 4 p.m. Eastern Monday.